Your end game is to make sure in like 3 weeks, you know your vocab. Okay. I like to use it, give you lots of time. And then by the end, you need to know it. So usually a unit is 3 to 4 weeks. So that's how long you have to learn those. So let's break this down, math people. All right. We got 5 days in a week. You don't have to do it on a Friday or Saturday night. So you got 5 nights a week that you're going to actually do some Spanish. All right. And let's say you do 5 words a day. That's 25 words a week that you've learned. 25 times what? 3, you're right there at 75. And that doesn't even include the cognates. So here's the strategy. Learn 5 words a day. Okay. Between now and when I quiz you over your vocab, and you'll know these. 5 words a day, very reasonable. 70 words the day before your quiz, not reasonable. 5 words a day, very reasonable. So I am so super serious here. If you are trying to do better than last semester, if you are trying to make your life easier, do this. All right, think about it. If you know your vocab, you're going to do well at listening activities. If you know your vocab, you're going to do well at speaking activities. If you know your vocab, you're going to do well at reading activities. All right, you can't do any of those things if you don't know your vocab. So start today. I'm going to give you some time here, about 10 minutes, and use your time wisely. I don't give you time every day, but a lot of times I do. All right, I'll give you 5 or 10 minutes in class, or I'll give you just Quizlet for homework. That means you spend 10 or 15 minutes and you learn maybe 10 words instead of 5. So you gauge your own ability. If Spanish is your hardest class, 5 words a day is fine. If Spanish is not that hard for you, maybe you do 8 words a day. Maybe do 10 words a day and then you only do it every other day. I mean, I don't know. You come up with your thing that works for you, but I am super serious. I've been teaching for a long time, and I think that that will help you, especially being virtual, right? I can't play as many games with you online as I would in class. We can't get up and act stuff out and write a script and perform it. I mean, I can't do all those things. So that's why I'm really emphasizing what you can do to make this easier for you. Okay. So today, right now, I'm going to just show you first. So here's your current lesson, right? You're going to click on this Quizlet link. You're going to come to your words like this. If you did not do this yesterday or before, I want you to click through and see what you recognize. Cognates, right? Allergies, antibiotics, aspirin. Obviously, you can check on the other side, make sure you're right. So that's what I would do first. Just flip through them all. See what you recognize. Okay. Then, like I said yesterday, click on this full screen button, and you can go and change it around if you need to. Make sure it's in Spanish. Go to options. Make sure you're answering in English. If you want to hear the words, look, click on audio.
Los alimentos, el pecho, el antibiótico, la alimentación.
Okay, so if you don't know how to say something, that option is there. I don't know if you know that or not. So again, it's right here under options. If you don't want to hear it, turn it off. All right, then you go to your starred words. I've already starred some in here. I've starred 11. So these are the 11 that I'm going to work on over and over again until I know to sneeze. Eating habits. Okay, calcium. So I'm going to do those over and over. I'm going to shuffle them and do them again. And I'm going to shuffle them and do them again. And once I know them, then I'm going to go back to options. I'm going to go to all, and I'm going to star some new ones. I'm going to add that to them. So I'm going to go back through here and pick some more. And so eventually I'm going to have all of my words starred, or at least all of them that aren't cognates, so that I learn them. And then you can go back to your regular flashcards and then go through all 74, and hopefully you're going to do a lot better. Once you're more familiar with them, then you can do some of these activities or the matching or the gravity. We'll play a live game probably sometime soon. But that's kind of my best strategies and techniques for using vocab. Okay. Sometimes I think it's just like you figure it out, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. So that's why I thought I'd take the time to give you some suggestions. All right. Any questions? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you 10-ish minutes, and your goal is to go through cognates and then learn 5 to 10 words. Okay, don't waste your time. Don't turn on the TV. Don't start texting your friends. Don't work on some other homework. Just take the 10 minutes. See if you can learn 10 new vocab words. All right, I'm going to mute myself. If you have any individual questions, of course, put them in the chat. I'm starting your timer. So go. Vocab, Quizlet, go.
Wait, we're leaving?
No, don't leave.
Oh,
Working on vocab for 10 minutes. So I just
okay.
go like work on vocab. You can turn off your camera. I don't care if you don't want me staring at you, but just spend your time wisely on vocab. How'd we do? How many people feel like you learned 5 words? Minimum 5 words? Did you do it? How many people feel like you learned more than 5 words? I mean, I think that's reasonable. Okay, certainly should have been at least 5 words. That was your minimum. And hopefully you're able to do a little more than that. So like I said, be consistent, stay on top of that. Tomorrow, I don't necessarily have time for you in class, but your homework tomorrow night is Quizlet. So again, that means learn another 5 or 10 words. So stay on top of it and really things will be so much easier for you. Okay, you'll actually learn your vocab. You'll actually be able to use your vocab and the whole thing, everything will just be easier because you'll know your vocab. Okay, so that is my big suggestion and push. Do with it as you will, but hopefully you will do it. All right, we are going to spend the last little part of class here, switching gears here, talk about some grammar. And again, everybody's at a different place with this. In third year, I feel like people are all over the place. So, you know, if you're a native speaker and you're awesome at grammar, great. I feel like a lot of native speakers have a little trouble with grammar, so pay attention. If you did great last year, you probably know about commands. If you zoned out because it was COVID and you didn't have school for most of second semester, maybe you never learned commands. I have no idea. So this is kind of our time to catch you up. So first thing I want you to do, again, problem from first semester, we all live and learn, is organization. I am going to give you some notes. You need to decide what you're going to do with them. Okay, so right now, either you're thinking in my head, I have a printer, I'm going to go print these off in a second, or you're going to make yourself a Google folder just for Spanish class, or you're going to make yourself a little folder on your desktop just for Spanish class. Okay, I don't know what other, those are my 3 options that I came up with. So you decide right now. And I'll show you where the notes are. And if you do want to print them, you can print them off real quick. So I'm just under current lesson. It's number 2. We're going to talk about positive to commands. So right here, this is what you need to take. And like I said, either print it, like right now, go do it. So you can write on it with us in a second, or put it somewhere that we can write on it, type on it together. Okay. So Google folder on your desktop. If you don't know how to do any of those things, let me know and I will help you if you need me to. Anybody need me to show you how to make a Google folder? That be helpful to anyone? It's real easy. It's just one button. Everybody got a place? Let's, like I said, let's start on top of the vocab. Let's get organized with the grammar stuff, and hopefully this semester will be off to a good start. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to pull up the notes and you can either look at it with me, or you can split your screen, however you want to do it. I will certainly be looking for some volunteers. So if you do kind of remember stuff about commands, or you're just looking at it right now with us, and you can probably work some things out as we're going through it, then get ready to volunteer and we'll give you some participation points. Okay, so this is the document you're looking at. It says positive to commands. So I want to know before we get started, what's a command? So I am looking at you, even though you may or may not be looking at me. So you're either raising your hand, like your normal hand, and I can see you, or you're raising your little blue hand, and then I can call on you and get your participation point. So you tell me, what's a command, Ava?
Like when you tell someone what to do.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's not like in a rude way or anything. It would be like if you were in class and I was like, oh, get out your paper, or you were, I don't know, about to have dinner and your mom was like, or your dad was like, eat your dinner, or dinner, come down for dinner, or whatever. So you're telling somebody what to do. Okay, now it says positive to command. So what's the word positive mean? Because there are positive commands and there are negative commands. So what would a positive command be? Anybody know? All right, I'll give you an example and then get your hand up. So a positive command versus a negative command would be like, do your homework would be positive, and don't eat so much candy would be negative. So what does it mean when we're looking at a positive command here? Hello. Hello. What do you think, Ethan? What am I saying? What's the difference between do your homework and don't eat so much junk food? He just disappeared. Did I scare him off? It's gone. Oh no, you're there. Ethan, what am I talking about?
Me, Ethan?
Yeah, sure. Nobody was volunteering, so then I just kind of call on people.
I'm
do you
not
think?
sure.
Positive versus a negative. So I'll give you more example. Positive command, eat your vegetables. Negative command, don't eat so much junk food. That
Are you
help?
asking me for an example?
No, I'm just kind of asking you what's the difference between a positive command and a negative command. You can pass if you're really like
Yeah,
not
I really
following.
don't know.
Okay, I'll come back to you then. All right, Gracie's gonna help you out. Go ahead, Gracie.
A negative command uses don't.
Yeah. Okay, so positive command is do something. Negative command is don't. It just has the word don't in it. So you'll notice today we're only looking at positive because you make them totally different ways. All right. So last thing to talk about before we can actually read through my notes, it says positive to command. So we know positive is telling someone to do something. Command is telling someone to do something. What does it mean that it's a to command? What does that word to imply? Gus, are you putting your hand up or just laughing at something funny? I don't know.
Can't take it off.
I can't take it off. All right, well, you want to answer my question anyway? There you
What was
go.
the question?
The question was, what is it? What's a to command? What does the to imply there?
That you should do something.
True, but like
Like a
what's
positive command.
yes, and the to part is important though. What is to, like the to form when you say like the yo form, the to form? What's the to form mean, Gus?
Telling you to do something.
And is it formal or informal?
Informal.
Yes, good answer. Okay, so to form is informal. So if you look at what I have in blue here, okay, you are talking to a friend or a family member. Remember, in Spanish, we have a formal, the usted like forms, and then we have informal, the friend or family version. All right, so in this case, I am teaching you right now how to tell someone what to do that is a friend or a family member, and you are telling them what to do, not what not to do. All right. So it would be like if I looked at one person and I said, Lauren, give me your paper. Or I said, Joel, I don't know, play some music. Okay. So I'm telling someone to do something. And it's just a family member or friend. So you're being informal. What's wrong? Are you okay? Okay. Okay. So here's how you do this. Ready? It's one step. It's super easy. Ready? You simply put the verb in the LAO stead form. Okay. So we're just going back literally just present tense, AR verb ends with an A. Present tense, ER and IR verbs end with an E. Okay. Nothing fancy. Just put an AR verb. You'll see some examples down here. Just going to be the he, she form, and ER/IR verb, he, she form with an E. Now, be careful, there are a few stem changes. So right now, like number 2 has a little star because there's a stem change there. All right, I wanted you to try these examples. So if you printed them out, go ahead and see if you can write in the command for eat, sleep, listen, breathe, and turn. I'll be looking for 5 volunteers here in just a second. Okay, keep it simple. Just put an A on the end or an E on the end unless it's number 2, and then there's a stem change. Oh, it's just probably gonna come out at some point. Did you just notice it? It hurts?
Yeah.
Did you bang it?
Yeah,
Where'd you bang it?
something, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. You know, we'll get wiggly and come out at some point. Huh? Okay. Well, maybe you just banged it. It'll be fine. Painful wiggly tooth, in case you are wondering what the excitement was on this end. All right. If you're ready to give me one of these, raise your hand. There's one hand. All right, let's try some. Got a couple hands up. All right, Sebastian, how am I gonna say eat?
Come.
Come. Good. All right. Literally just put it in the he, she form. Now 2 is the tricky one because it does have a little stem change. It's the he, she form, but it just has a little stem change in it. Who remembers what that little stem change is? Who's got it? Who's got it? Nadia. How about Lucky? Oh, Ava saved everybody just in the nick of time. Go ahead, Ava.
Don't you change it to like a UE or something?
So what do we have?
Duerme.
Duerme. There it is. All right, want some volunteers on these last ones? All right, how would I say listen? Listen. All right, I'm coming around. I'm getting a couple people, but they already volunteered. Thank you, Alyssa. Rest for a minute. You have 2 points. Most people have none. Oh, Lauren's going. Okay, Lauren.
Escuche.
Super close. Maybe you have it spelled right. What should your last letter be?
E.
Nope, because it's an AR verb. So what's it going to be?
Oh, so it would be an A.
There you go. Escucha. All right. Next one. Take a breath, man. Breathe.
Respira.
Was that you, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Say it again.
Respira.
Respira. Rest. That's right. Respira. Breathe. Calm down. Respira. All right. And how about turn? Turn around. Turn. I don't know. Let's see. Kylan, go ahead.
Is it Duebla?
There's no stem change. So just
Dobla.
dobla. There it is. Like if you're giving somebody directions, like turn right or turn left. Dobla. Okay. So that's what we're doing. If you've done that before, hopefully that rings a bell. You should have done it before in second year, but if not, that's what we're doing. He, she form, regular present tense, just got to be careful of some stem changes. All right, one more thing to consider. It's always just a little more. Ten cuidado, be careful. Here are the positive irregular to commands. You will need to know what they mean and their irregular forms. Don't worry, I've got a story for you to help you remember. Okay, so here's my story. Everybody listen, and you'll see how, figure out how it helps you. I cannot claim credit for this. I am merely passing it on. All right, so you're looking at the commands here. See if you can work out what I'm talking about. There's a guy. His name is Mr. Salpone. You know, good old Mr. Salpone. Okay, Mr. Salpone has the super exciting job of going around from house to house and figuring out how many people live in each house so that he can keep track of the census. He's a census worker. So he reports back how many people live in each house. All right. So Mr. Salpone is going around from house to house and he gets to the Baben house. All right. So Mr. Baben, there's Mr. Baben. Okay. He lives down the street. And so Mr. Salpone knocks on his door and Mr. Baben comes out and he's like, hey, I'm Salpone and I need to figure out how many people live in your house. And so he tells them 12 people live in my house. And he's like, 12 people. And he's like, yeah, I have 10 kids, 10. And while Salpone is just like, wow, that's a lot of kids. So anyway, he goes along as his day, he's writing down all the numbers. And at the end of the day, he goes back to the place, the super fun government office building that he works in. And he's going to report back what he's found. And he turns in all his stuff to his boss. And his boss is like, oh, Mr. Salpone, thank you so much for doing such good work. And he's looking through like his notes of that Mr. Salpone turned in. And he's like, wow, this Baben house. Wow. They have a lot of kids. They have 10 kids, 10. Wow. And Salpone's like, yeah, they got 10 kids. And he just can't believe it. So he turns to his buddy next to him and he's like, did Salpone say Baben has 10? Get it? Did Salpone say Baben has 10. Thanks, Alyssa. I really appreciate your response. So that's the story, right? If you can remember that phrase, there it is at the bottom. The question is, did Salpone say Baben has 10, as in 10 kids? And obviously that will help you hopefully remember D, Salpone say Baben has 10. All right. So hopefully you remember my catchy little story. Like I said, I cannot take credit for that. I did not make it up. I probably heard it like when I was in school and I could probably update it, but why? It's just classic. So you will eventually need to know all of these and what they mean. But hopefully, did Salpone say Baben has 10, right? Will help you. So that concludes your story time for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to let the commands rest, let them sink in. Come back to them tomorrow. I am going to wrap things up. Homework for tomorrow is just make sure your vocab is done. Okay. So vocab turned in, make sure that Nearpod from Monday was turned in. I will finish going through those today and put a couple grades in Skyward. And then tomorrow be set to work on commands. All right. Okay. Well, stick around if you have any questions. Otherwise, it's been fun. Hasta mañana.